All right, let's talk about the dimensions of health. So, when we look at health as a whole, we need to look at health as a pie, right? So, health as a pie. When we talk about the dimensions of health, we are going to be taking slices of that pie, but it's all still health. But what we're doing is we are focusing on certain parts of health. And so those are the slices of it. The goal is to get the whole pie. The goal is to impact the whole area, but sometimes we need targeted targeted efforts when it comes to our health. Sometimes it might be truly challenging to focus on every single aspect of our health. So it's important to sometimes target it, but we always want to get the most bang for our buck, and we want to go ahead and focus on as many as possible, right? We want to be multidimensional with our wellness approach. Now, sometimes you'll see it written as the dimensions of health. Sometimes will see it as the dimensions of wellness. Either way, it's all the same thing because you got to remember a dimension of wellness is going to lead you to a dimension of health. A dimension of health is going to require a dimension of wellness, right? So we can either call it the dimension of health or we could call it dimension of wellness. Health is what we are trying to achieve. Wellness is how we're going to achieve that health. And so also too, you might see sometimes that there is a bunch of dimensions of health, and sometimes you'll see that there's very few dimensions of health. The one I'm going to talk about today, we're going to talk about nine dimensions of health, but I've seen as low as three or four dimensions of health being discussed. There also might be more dimensions of health depending on how many more slices people want to take at health. Because health is a subjective term, really what the focus is on of health is really going to be or how many dimensions of health people talk about is going to be subjective to their purpose and what they're trying to achieve. And so when trying to achieving wellness means obtaining the optimal level of well-being for your unique limitations and strength. And when we're trying to achieve health, we need to take a holistic approach. So, really trying to balance and integrate the concept of mind, body, and spirit, and trying to balance the nine interrelated dimensions of health by taking a multi-dimensional approach, focusing on more than one dimension with your effort. We have so little time on this earth, so many little time in a day. So we really need to focus on how can we get the most bang for our buck, right? If I'm working on physical, I also might want to be working on my emotional. I also be working on my occupational, depending on what type of job. If I'm someone who lifts boxes. Me going to the gym and getting stronger is going to help my occupation. By me helping my occupation, I'm helping my finances because my boss might be like, "Hey, oh, you're doing a really good job. Here's that promotion," right? So there's many different ways to take a multidimensional approach. So we need to be intentional when we do that because wellness is all about being intentional, being active, and being multidimensional. And so here are the nine dimensions of health. We have physical, emotional, social, environmental, financial, intellectual, occupational, spiritual, and also cultural. And so when we talk about physical, we're talking about like our nutrition, exercise, sleep. It's really maintaining a healthy body through balanced nutrition, regular physical activity, and adequate rest. And so when you think about a CHW's role in helping someone to improve their physical health, it's educating the people on the healthy habits. It's possibly organizing fitness plans. It's encouraging them to get good sleep. So example, a CHW leads a walking group to help community members improve their cardiovascular health. We also have emotional health. I really like to call this emotional intelligence. Um, some might also say emotional resilience. Some might also talk about these coping mechanisms as well. All of that is a part of the emotional health um, dimension. And so it's the ability to manage stress, express emotion, and maintain mental well-being. And so when you think about a CHW, it might be provide peer support for individuals struggling with anxiety and depression, teach stress management techniques like mindfulness and deep breathing, Also help individuals access mental health counseling and resources. So example, a CHW runs a support group for individuals managing chronic stress and anxiety. The social dimension of health, this is all about building and maintaining healthy relationships and strong support systems. So it might be CHWs encouraging community to participate and do some social connection. Also may organize support groups for caregivers, seniors, and individuals with chronic illness. And also may address social isolation in vulnerable populations. So example of that is a CHW connects new mothers to a parenting support group for postpartum mental health support. Environmental. So when we're talking about, a lot of people get social environmental confused and they think that environmental is talking about social, but social is about our relationships with people, our interactions, making connections with people. And environment is where you live, work, and play. That is what is surrounding you, not so much focusing on the social connections with people. And so when we talk about environmental, it's really looking how people are living in safe, clean, and healthy environments that support overall well-being. And when you think about CHW role, it's to advocate for clean water, pollution control, and access to green spaces. It's to educate communities about environmental hazards like lead exposure and air pollution. Also support sustainable practices such as community gardens. Really also looking at the built environment. I don't know why I put that in. Oh, I did. So when we talk about access to green spaces, etc., that's talking about the built environment, but the built environment talking about the structure of buildings, how we build up societies and cities, etc. The infrastructure, sidewalks, parks, building structures, red light, green light, things like that. So examples, CHW works with a coalition to improve air quality in an urban neighborhood affected by pollution. But then we also need to look at spiritual dimension of health, and a lot of people think spiritual and religion are two different things. I mean, are the same thing, but spirituality and religion are two different things. Religion is when it's more communal based. It's more there's a doctrine involved. There's a book of some sort where everybody in the community follows this, and there's a standard of how you should act if you're a part of the community. Some religions have consequences if you disobey certain rules that of the community guidelines, etc., or you violate the doctrine of some sort. There's consequences to your actions. That is a religion. So it's more like community sameness or similarities, as opposed to spirituality is usually unique to a person. And so spirituality is focused on developing your value, purpose, and meaning in life based on you. So developing a sense of purpose, values, and inner peace through personal beliefs or faith. Um, and so someone could be spiritual and religious, but someone could be religious and spiritual, but someone who is spiritual doesn't necessarily have to be religious. And so the best example I can give you is that, like, when you sometimes drive down streets and you see multiple churches of the same faith, and you're like, how are all these churches exist? They're all of the same faith. And so what that is you have similar religions, right? Because they're all part of the same faith, but the expression of that religion, the beliefs and the values and how we're going to deliver the message is the spirituality. And so a lot of times spiritual people may borrow from multiple religions to create their belief system. But also to when you think about a spiritual belief, it's what do you believe, right, in your life? So I'll give you an example of my spiritual belief. I believe that we all have a destiny, not a destiny in form of destination, but a destiny in a form of capabilities. We're all put here to achieve our max capabilities, whatever that looks like. So every day we are working to achieve our max capabilities, and we all have unique capabilities that are only we can do. And we go out searching for societies and communities that we were able to exude and be able to perform at our max capabilities. And so that's my spiritual belief. Has nothing to do with any religion, even though maybe some religions may also believe those same things. Because as you know, religion if we study religion, we can see that there's a lot of religions have a lot more in common than they do have differences. And so usually people are spiritual, they understand those commonalities and they incorporate those commonalities within their own sense of purpose or values. And so when we think about a CHW's role, it's really could be helping individuals find meaning and purpose in life through community engagement, respect and support of spiritual beliefs and healthcare decision making. Because sometimes people have certain spiritual beliefs, and then the care that they're receiving may not respect that. So CHWs may be able to assist in that and being that liaison for the patient. Say, hey, this the patient's spiritual belief. We can't do X, Y, and Z, and also connect individuals with faith-based help initiatives if aligned with their values. So, example, CHW partners with faith leaders to provide grief support, counseling, or family experiencing loss. We also have that intellectual health. And so, intellectual health is about expanding knowledge, creativity, and problem solving skills to improve overall health well being. So, when you think about intellectual health, we have both formal education and informal. Like right now in college, you're participating in formal education. There is a structure, there's outcomes, etc. And informal education is what everyone goes through. This is where you learn from your parents, your family, your friends, through your lived experiences. And that informal education is what makes us a lot unique, and sometimes we're able to understand things even without that informal education. And society often doesn't value informal education as much as formal education, right? Society values degrees. So it's important to understand where you're trying to achieve in life, and based on what you're trying to achieve and what position in society that you want to potentially tailor your formal education so that you can achieve that, right? Um, People who get higher degrees get higher earnings. And so CHW's role would be to promote health literacy and patient education so individuals can make informed decisions, encourage adult education programs and skill building workshops, support brain health and cognitive wellness through education activities. So, example, a CHW teaches a health literacy workshop for individuals navigating the healthcare system. Then we also have financial and occupational health. So financial is achieving financial security and having access to healthcare, housing, and basic needs. So CHW would help apply financial assistance, help someone with their budgeting, also advocate for fair wages. So CHW assists in low income family in applying for rental assistance and food benefits. Occupation, finding meaning and balance in professional life, maintaining a healthy work environment, and pursuing fulfilling careers. So CHW's role would be advocating workers' rights and fair wages, also safety worker conditions, connect individuals to job training programs and career development opportunities, and help workers manage occupational stress and work-life balance. So example is the CHW works with farm workers to educate them on workplace safety and access to healthcare. Um, Also, we have cultural health as well, and this is so honoring cultural heritage, tradition, and diversity in health and well-being. So CHW's role, this is where CHWs really need to be. It's important that they are trusted members of communities. So provide culturally competent healthcare education, ensuring language accessibility, advocate for healthcare policies that respect cultural values and traditions, support immigration and refugee communities, and accessing culturally appropriate care. Example, CHW ensures that Spanish speaking families have access to bilingual healthcare services. And those are the dimensions of health.